Internet, Survivor 50 is rapidly approaching, and if Season 40, Winners at War, was one of the biggest themes for an all-star season left in the books, then I suppose for this landmark season, we swing just as hard. Welcome to the biggest celebration Survivor has to offer from the early days all the way to present day. Welcome to Survivor Legends. Although now that I think about it, season 10 and 30 really weren't much of a celebration. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going big. And for the record, I absolutely don't think this season will ever exist, but for the fun thought experiment of it all, let's just give it a whirl. And before I get to anything else, I want to give a shout out and a huge thanks to the artist Pump Smash, who created the logo for this spectacle of a season. The logo you see on the thumbnail. Pump Smash has been in the Survivor community for a long time, making logos of all sorts. They've created several of the previous season logos that you've seen from my videos, and I've enjoyed their work so much that I just keep reaching out to them for more and more. And if you want to get your own logo or just directly support them, you can check out their Patreon, which will be linked in the description below. To create this Legends season, I decided to bring the cast to 20 players with probably 2 tribes, otherwise it's just gonna get weird with the numbers. 10 men, 10 women. But there's one more major twist. The theme of Legends is tricky because at this point, I may as well just recast heroes versus villains and just call it a day. Slap a 2.0 sticker on that bad boy and bring them back 15 years later. JT, please don't give away your idol again. Instead, I am not just casting the biggest names from the oldest seasons, but also the biggest names from every part of the show's history. That's right, you could dub this season something to do with the eras of the show. It's about the biggest players and characters from every generation. But we're not calling this Generations because we've basically already done that with season 33, so this is Legends. Old and new. I have decided to cast 2 men and 2 women from every 10 seasons of the show. Seasons 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, 31 through 40, and 41 to present day, which as of this video would be season 45. Which also then means we also have 4 seasons unaccounted for, which means we'll maybe need to revisit this cast in a couple years to change up the 40s roster. But we're not there yet, we're here right now, so let's start off with the earliest seasons. And you know, I think it's impossible for me to not cast Boston Rob, given we're talking about Legends. Yeah, that wasn't my intention here, but he is getting a 6th appearance in the game, or 7th if you want to include his time as a mentor. And it is definitely overkill, but he's on the Mount Rushmore of the show, and like, what do you want from me? A unique pick? All right, you know what? Let's do that. The first woman I am gonna cast is one of the women I wish was cast on season 40, but never got a call, and that is V from season 4, Marquesas. She wasn't considered when she should have been, and while I would also love to cast Tina too, at least Tina played on 2 other seasons. V is never played again despite wanting to, and this is the season for it. Likewise, the other woman is obviously going to be Sandra, because as far as I'm concerned, if you've got a giant face statue built to the likeness of your head in Fiji, you're kind of overqualified for the job. Sandra's the first 2-timer, and yeah, she's on the cast. And the last man from this era is gonna go to the most popular man of the time, the one who America voted to just give $1 million to, and that is Rupert, the tie-dye pirate. Rupert has already played 4 times, and he's a bit of a character, which is totally fine because we're gonna need some of that with this all-star cast. He is too big of a household name to ignore, other than maybe Richard Hatch, who I guess has to get snubbed again. Let's just say if Rupert stubs his toe on the way over, consider Hatch an alternate.
If you can.
I am the only one that has to work for the next 2 or 3 days. And I will work. Work.
As it stands now, if either Dara or Lil wins immunity, then the other one goes. I really don't give a damn which one of the 2 goes as long as it ain't me.
Pirates pillage. Pirates steal. Pirates take advantage.
Take them. You know, get anything.
Whose are these? Pirated.
For the next 10 seasons, we have another strong group of heavy hitters. First up, the greatest player to never win, Suri is returning for a 5th season to find a whole new way to get removed from the game. What's left? Rocks? Saria's up for the task, especially if the season is going to be 26 days in Fiji, which at this rate, it probably will be. And you know what? It sure beats 100 days in a parking lot in LA. And then we've got to get to the Cook Islands of it all. A top-heavy season, both Ozzy and Parvati originated here, and both of them are back yet again. Ozzy has always been on the precipice of a win, and I know Parv is ready to kick ass and take names one more time. You can't not cast the Challenge Beast or the Queen P of the Black Widow Brigade, so they're both in. And then lastly, we have one more man for this era, and I'm going to take a chance and give it to Russell Hantz. I want to see what he's going to do for a fourth time playing in the US after so long. Could he reinvent himself? Or are we destined for another train wreck? Either way, the man changed the game and he wasn't cast on Game Changers, so Legends it is. And hey, you know what? We've only cast 6 players from Heroes vs. Villains. Not too shabby.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
I ain't finished playing just yet.
This is not a hidden immunity idol.
That means Ozzy has it. Jason found it.
Jeff, come on. That took hours to make.
My mother always told me, you may not be able to beat him with these all the time, but you can always beat him with this.
You know what, Jeff? I think it would be downright depressing to sit and watch green bananas turn yellow without my debaucherous little villains. Sandra, that's for you. Jerry, that one's for you too.
Damn it.
Let's talk about the seasons in the 20s. The middle of the show now, and wow, that is wild to think about. There are definitely a couple of shoo-ins that just can't be ignored in this group, and the first is obviously the king of Survivor. It's Team Good TV. It's Tony V. He's already won twice, and there's enough of a reason as if I needed to say anything more. I also want to bring back Kim from One World, who I still believe played the most dominant game to date, and is one of the overall best players the show has ever seen. She's another staple pick for me. I would love to see her play a third time with yet another incredible cast. That actually kind of sounds like I'm praising the One World cast, but whatever, I'll let it slide. The last 2 players here are going to be a bit of a package duo. And the first is the runner-up of Winners at War. It's Natalie. Because she's a triple threat of a player, she managed to both be a first boot and a runner-up at the same time. And you know there is a juicy storyline here with Tony. Likewise, I'm also including Jeremy for being another big name from this era of the show for winning second chance, and because again, there are some juicy storylines to build upon with these players.
I went home, took it hard. Now, I want the money for Val more than for me. Like, I just need to go through this again. I'm back for some redemption.
Backman, did you vote for who I told you to vote for? I'm playing this for Jack.
Okay.
I've been in the driver's seat this whole time, but I feel like this game is like closing in on me. And I feel like if I can run just fast enough in the perfect direction, I might make it out of this tunnel before it all crashes down on my head.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be fooled by Tony.
I'm probably the villain, but everything I did was survival based. I came out here to win $1 million, and my focus is still to win $1 million.
So that's 12 of the 20 players in the cast, and we're looking a little like Winners at War 2.0 all of a sudden, aren't we? The 20s era winners are too big to ignore. And out of the gate with the 30s, I am bringing another winner back, and that is the third finalist from season 40. It's yet another winner from New Jersey. It's Michelle. I think Michelle solidified her spot as worthy of being on a Legends cast with both her performances, and I feel it's fitting to give the final 3 of the Super Bowl season their spots here. She's also going to be the last player from Winners at War to get a spot, meaning 8 in total were cast, less than half, which I think is fair. But I also think there's a lot of untapped potential with some of these seasons in the 30s that never got a chance to return. Yeah, we saw Ben and Wendell and Nick come back, and technically Chris Underwood, but what about a few other one-time big names that deserve another go? I've got 3 names on this list, and I think they're due for a return any day now. So why not bring back Christian and Angelina from season 37, David vs. Goliath, as well as Rick Devens from season 38, Edge of Extinction. These are 3 really big names that only played once. And if I am future-proofing the legends of this show, I think all 3 are so big for just one appearance that they could definitely hold their own.
Do you know what a Reuben sandwich is, Jeff? You know what a macaron is, Jeff? Or like kind of like little tiny, little colorful sandwiches? I never grew a beard in my life, Jeff, by the way. Jeff, by the way, now you know what it's like to live with me. You're hearing my voice for hours. It's torture.
I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be polished all the time. I don't have to be made up all the time. That I can just be me and that I am so capable of anything.
Doing with that, I don't, but I would be indebted to you 1,000,000%.
Honestly, what I want is like pretty steep.
Yeah.
But if you...
Aubrey has had a big lead throughout this challenge, but puzzles so often are the equalizer. Michelle has been dead last, but she is making a comeback. Can Michelle catch Ty? Michelle making quick work. She's got 3 columns the same height. Michelle's got some momentum now. Michelle has it. Michelle wins individual immunity. Guaranteed spot in the final 3.
Which means we have just one more era left in the tank. The so-called new era, which at some point is going to have to get outdated and switched over to a different name, or at least, you know, the newest era right now from seasons 41 to 45. And soon to be 46. While we only have a little over half of the candidate pool to pull from right now, that's not going to stop me from giving this group a go at predicting legends, potential legends, and players I think should return. As far as I'm concerned, Survivor can go to like season 100, so at some point we're going to look back on this all fondly with our canes and go, damn, look at these legends for the first time. The easiest way to start this out is to just look first at the winners, and I'm gonna pick Jam Jam from season 44 and D from season 45. Partially because they are the 2 most recent, but also because they pack a punch. Good players, good characters, they got something to offer, and I know they'll bring the juice. And the final 2 spots are up in the air, and I am currently leaning towards Jesse from season 43, as I think he played one of the better losing games in recent history, and the episode where he snipes Cody, it's fantastic. He is an assassin, and I want more of that. And then, you know, I think it's only right that I end the entire video with one of the biggest character picks in the bunch. From season 44, it is the one-of-a-kind Carolyn. I think that she encapsulates this era really well, possibly the best of anyone thus far, and she's also just her irreverent superfan self, come hell or high water, and I think that's a necessary ingredient to be picked as a representative here.
All right, Carolyn, you ready?
So I'm just like talking?
Yeah, to me. Just pretend it's just you and I. Make sense? This is the easiest one.
It might be time to just be openly cutthroat. If I gotta switch it up and be more brutal, I will.
13th person voted out of Survivor 43. Cody, 3, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch.
Poor Jesse did it.
Please.
Josh is sketchy. I mean, he pulls out this freaking fake idol. It's perfect. Game apart. This idol is so fake.
You're forced to make tough decisions, but I knew that my weakness was my emotions getting involved and trying to balance my morals in the real world with my morals on Survivor. It's hard.
Woo, let's go.
That is the current cast of 20 players in my fantasy draft, drawing upon many of the biggest names in Survivor history from across all eras. It's mythical, it's extraordinary, it's what legends are made of, and yeah, it is Survivor Legends. But before I turn off the microphone, I want to turn to you and ask, who is in your fantasy cast for this season? Who are your top picks? And what do you think of mine? Any major snubs? Coach? Hatch? Look, the season isn't a clown car. I can't fit everyone under the sun in it. Unless we pull an Australian survivor and do 4 more. Wanda, this is it. Either way, thank you to my patrons for all your support. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to advocate for bringing back the entire cast of Heroes vs. Villains on your way out. And I will see you in the next one. Once I draft another fantasy season of Survivor. Perhaps with newer players. Perhaps an all-star battle for the new era.
On this crazy and amazing life that Survivor has gifted me. And I'm so grateful and honored to be part of this crew right here.
Happy you're here. I'm so happy I'm here. We need us some Survivor.
The greatest social experiment on television continues.
What you singing over there?
Oh, sorry, nothing. I was thinking.